It's been very difficult to get a real sense of which way this campaign's going, simply because the situation in Scotland seems so unprecedented. What we're looking at here at the moment is the first general election in modern times where you could have serious debate about the outcome in Scotland. Every general election in Scotland I can remember, there's never been any doubt but that Labour would be the victor in Scotland. This time round, of course, the polls suggest the SNP's well in front, and the question every journalist will be asking tonight is, are the SNP really going to triumph in the way that so many opinion polls have suggested?
We've got about 700 people here who are counting the votes. At the moment what they're doing is the verification process where they're verifying the ballot paper count which has been prepared by the presiding officer in each of the polling stations, and that will say that, let's say there's 750 votes in the box. They'll count the box to make sure there are 750. If they get a different answer, they'll verify that a couple of times to make sure it's absolutely accurate. And once we've verified the total votes we have, we then start to sort the votes into the various candidates, and then after that we start the count.
Last day of the campaign, there are obviously a lot of legal restrictions on what you're able to broadcast while the polls are actually open. So what we've really been doing here, came here about 7 o'clock this evening along with the producer and the cameraman, so we could really set up, get ourselves established, get to say hello to some of the people who are here tonight. Then I had a live piece to do about 10 just to set the scene a little bit. That was to tell the viewers a little bit about this constituency, who the current representatives are, what the result was in 2010, and maybe look at what the clues may be about how it's going to go here this evening.
It's hard to say how long the count's going to take. The most important thing in any count is accuracy, and that also links into any request for a recount. I've already mentioned to candidates and agents that if they see any issues, any questions they have, raise them and we will do our best to address them. The most important thing is that it's a robust process that produces an accurate result. The referendum, we declared the referendum at 4:15. I hope we'll be declaring at least the first constituency sometime before that.
The campaign has been really first class. The people that I've had helping me out and about on the doorstep, knocking on doors, getting the leaflets delivered, making the phone calls. I've had a first class team, and I think that the people in Airdrie Shotts have responded very well to that.
I'm here tonight because I believe this area is one that, although it's not traditionally Conservative, could really benefit from Conservative values, Conservative policies. Conservatives believe in looking after your family, taking responsibility for your own life. We believe in low taxes, especially for people on low incomes, which I think would really help a lot of people here. And most of all, we really believe in the United Kingdom, and I'm passionate about being both British and Scottish.
It's been quite an incredible campaign. We've had a over 20,000 majority to overturn from a long-standing, popular MP, Tom Clark. So it's been a bit of an uphill battle, as has been reported often in the press, but what we found by using social media and a very large, strong force on the ground of activists, we've been getting out, speaking to people, persuading them, talking to them, answering their questions and assuaging any concerns that they may have about our policies and the way forward with an anti-austerity progressive policy.
So far, it's what I'm looking at. It's not too bad. Obviously, we're not going to aim to win it this time round. Aim for second or third place. Put their foot in the ball. So I think we're going to get that. I think we're going to sit third or fourth. So good third, I think.
It's gone pretty much to plan. We're up against a very strong Labour. Well, it should be a cast iron Labour seat. They got 58.2% last year. It's probably going to go to the SNP, I suspect, this time, but it's between those two. We are the first of the rest. But really our aim in this election is to build our vote. If we can get a number of votes up, that will help us in next year's Scottish election, where the PR system kicks in and helps us.
I would say successful. I mean, it has been a bit of a challenge, I won't lie. Being a young female and being a Scottish Conservative within North Lanarkshire is tough, but it's been positive. Going round the doors, really positive response, and there has been a lot of people who would say that they would vote me, so hopefully we will keep our deposit and retain our vote or get a percentage increase.
My campaigns went very well. As I was saying before, it's a toss-up. There's 2 battles going on between first place and third place. I have an inkling I may have won the third place battle. Hopefully, we'll see. On the doorstep, a lot of people were saying they're going to vote for me. A lot of people very quietly, but mostly it's been positive, been very positive.
It's gone better than I'd expected, actually. As I said, this isn't a traditionally Conservative area, and I was a bit wary of how I'd be received up here, especially because I'm not from the area, but people have been extremely friendly. There was a man who tweeted me this morning who'd actually voted Labour his whole life, and he was voting Conservative for the first time today. So it's gone really well. People have been really friendly, really welcoming.
Obviously tired. I think everyone here is. It's been massive. Our activists have been out, who are not been, most, I mean, the vast majority are not councillors. They're volunteers, not being paid, driven by the passion and what they believe in. So if you're energised by something you believe in, it's fantastic. You can keep going. Elated, excited, ecstatic in fact about the effort and the energy that people have put in. Notice the big E's running together, guys.
Again, I was out and about to make sure the polling stations get to know who I am, who the UKIP candidate for the Mother Militia was. Make sure everything was above board and no placards going about for other people. But yeah, I was making sure everybody got to the polling station. Who couldn't get to the polling station, I took in the car and stuff like that, so pretty miles down the road.
This morning I was in Airdrie and I went around all the polling stations to see how things were going, get a feel for what was happening, and then I motored all the way down to Moffat because our key seat in Scotland is Dumfries, DCT, Dumfries, Clydesdale and Tweedale, David Mundell's seat, so I was down there all afternoon on the phones. Then I went home, got something to eat, a little rest, and out here, and we'll be here till 3-4 o'clock in the morning, I would imagine.
Today I started off in Motherwell at DL High School, where I spent about half an hour. Then I went through to Moss Park, we did some telephone canvassing, and roughly about 4 o'clock we went back out and we hit the polling stations. So yeah, it's been a very busy day, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well, today I started off in college, but as soon as I finished there I went out campaigning in Airdrie. I tried to avoid the high street because I felt like people would be focused on their polling stations. I went around the polling stations, had a chat with a couple of people, but basically just moved around speaking to people, trying to see what their thoughts were, get a few last minute over the line votes.
And I just thought it's been fantastic to see people energised with this campaign because they believe in it for no other reason. And when you think, you know, you believe you're right, you work at it, it keeps you going. But in answer to your question, tired. Started about 6 o'clock and getting ready, and we hit the first polling stations around 5:45 as the boxes were being 7:15, sorry, as the boxes were being opened for view. So we've been to every campaign, every polling station, bar I think we missed one, and thanked all the staff because there's been volunteers and paid staff as well working very long shifts. They started about 6:15, they've worked through to about 10:30. I'm sure they're all sleeping already.
What have I been doing today? So I started off in the morning telephone canvassing anyone that looked like they might vote Conservative across the constituency. I was doing that for a few hours. Then I worked out a route around the polling stations, and I've been heading around the polling stations, meeting the voters, and actually also having some good chats with Labour and SNP campaigners. It's actually been a very friendly campaign.
Who's been the most professional from all the media companies I've dealt with? Well, we've also had The Guardian, there's been Norwegians, there's been radio stations, newspapers, but there's a little known company in actually quite local in our constituency, which is the Applebox crew, and they're a small organisation of filmmakers who, I don't know if you know this, but an Applebox is actually a box that you